Welcome to Charm and Circumstance. I'm your host, Ashley Bruggeman, and today I am honored to sit down with Madalyne Kinnett, who is the Executive Director for Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts Foundation, an organization that provides comfort, support, and hope to women battling breast cancer. In this episode, we'll hear about how Madalyne became involved with the foundation, the incredible work they're doing in our community and beyond, and why their mission matters now more than ever. Along the way, we'll also look at current breast cancer statistics to understand the reality so many women face. From floor plans to 5-year plans, business to finding balance, I'm Ashley Bruggeman, an interior designer with a love for beautiful living and a belief that style and substance go hand in hand. I'm pulling back the curtain on design, resilience, and entrepreneurship. Expect real talk, refined tips, and just the right mix of polish and personality. So pour something sweet and join me for a thoughtful conversation with a generous helping of charm and circumstance. Madalyne, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that we get to do this here in the month of October, of course, which is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so I instantly thought of this foundation that I know you've been doing a lot of work with for several years. So first, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be involved with Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts?
Yes, so I, in 2023, was Miss Kentucky USA, and I spent the year volunteering for nonprofits and training for Miss USA and going to events across Kentucky. And Michael Kors reached out to me and wanted to do a shopping day to raise money for the Hope Center, which is a nonprofit that I have volunteered for since I was in high school. And this was kind of my yes year. I just did whatever I could and said yes to anything that came my way. So I was at the event and Rebecca came in and told me a little bit about what she was wanting to do and how she was wanting to start a foundation for breast cancer patients, and she wanted my help volunteering. So I grabbed her phone and I put in my number, and she reached out and asked me to go to brunch. And the day that she asked me to go to brunch was my mom's birthday. And my mom passed away when I was in 8th grade. So it was a hard day for me, but I felt like I needed to go and see what she had to say. So I felt like it was a sign. And we sat down and she told me a little bit about her mom and how she had lost her to breast cancer and how there was a gap and how she wanted to fill that gap with basically care kits for these women all over Kentucky. And I said yes, and we started from there.
Awesome. So can you tell us the story behind the foundation, how it started, and the inspiration behind the mission?
Yes, so Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts Foundation was born from a promise that Rebecca made to her mother, Betty, who was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. And for over a year, she fought for her life and for her daughter and her grandson, Jax. And during this time, Rebecca and Betty came to realize that there was a lack of support from cancer organizations specifically tailored to address unique challenges that you can face. They had always supported breast cancer organizations because of their family history, but it wasn't until Betty herself became a victim of this terrible disease that they truly understood the absence of direct assistance for patients. And that's when Betty expressed to Rebecca her idea for creating a foundation that would directly help women during their fight against cancer.
And you told this story about, which I think is so cool, ending up having lunch with Rebecca, the founder, on your mom's birthday. But was there something else, like a turning point that made you say, this is where I'm meant to be?
I think in the beginning, I truly didn't understand the gravity of what we were doing. I had never been close with anybody that had gone through breast cancer, so I thought. But the more I learned and listened and talked to the women, something shifted, and I had a pure heart for the organization. I believe that we could truly make a difference for the women in Kentucky going through this. And I felt that God put me there that day to run into Rebecca. And I think he knew my mom's birthday was the hardest day for me out of the year. And he used that day to inspire me and show me that I can turn pain into purpose.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful story.
Thank you.
So for listeners new to Betty's Hearts, let's talk about the work that you're doing. So what is the mission of the foundation in your own words?
In my words, I would say that Rebecca, Betty's daughter, has created beautiful pink care kits full of tools and gifts of love to go to women in Kentucky that might not even know that they need these items. We are direct patient assistance for post-mastectomy and chemotherapy care kits, and we pack these with volunteers in Kentucky who have all been touched by breast cancer. We help women feel brave and beautiful by showing them that they are not alone in this fight, and we're a community empowering women to face their fight against breast cancer with resilience and dignity.
I can't even imagine how helpful it is to women going through this to then be surrounded by other women who have either been through it or are familiar with the process. And just, I can't imagine how comforting that has got to be. You're known for these care kits for women who are undergoing treatment. What goes inside those kits and how do they make a difference?
Yeah, so I'll start with the post-mastectomy care kit. We have a mastectomy pillow that goes around the front of you and then under your arms, and you can strap it in the back. And the women called this the Betty, and we just like to say it's a hug from her. We also put a seatbelt pillow in there because even a little movement in the car, if you're still sore, can be a really big difference.
And that other pillow that you described, that's for just like the post-op recovery? Okay.
Yeah, when we go into the hospitals and deliver in person, we actually put it on them right away, and they can put like their arms on their chest and kind of rest there. And it's the pressure, I think, that feels nice. And another thing in the box that we give is a pink zip-up hoodie, and it's really important to have like button-ups or zip-ups after a mastectomy because you can't lift your arms. And so inside these hoodies, we have drain holders on each side. And then we also include 2 other drain holders, and one's for the shower because a lot of surgeons tell you just to throw your bulbs over your arms or your shoulders when you're showering, and that hurts. I mean, it's coming out of your chest cavity. And then we also give a drain holder that can go around your waist in case you want to go out in public and people not see your drains. And then we just give a lot of other little gifts of love, like a journal because we're really big on self-advocacy. And then in the chemo care kit, it also includes the seatbelt pillow. And then we also give a hoodie with port access, so you don't have to pull your shirt down. And then we give another T-shirt that has port access too. And then on every shirt that we give, including the zip-up hoodie, it says brave and beautiful on the left arm because that's something that we try to engrave into their minds. Like, you are brave and beautiful for going through this.
Yeah, for sure. So do you work directly with the hospitals, doctors, or other nonprofits to get these into the hands of the women who need them?
So we have met some amazing organizations that want to help these women and share their missions back and forth. And Kentucky Cancer Link is one of them. We receive recipients from them, and we also send our recipients to them. They're a great organization. But our goal is at some point to get into every hospital in Kentucky so that no woman goes through this journey alone. And these are items that you need and that insurance doesn't cover. So we're praying and hoping for that one day.
Yeah. So your goal is to cover all of Kentucky. So if somebody reached out to you from anywhere in Kentucky, then they are, you would send a kit.
Absolutely. They get one for free.
Okay. Good to know. Can you share a story of someone who's been touched by Betty's Hearts?
Yeah, I'll talk about me first because that has touched me completely. So since I have volunteered at this organization, I was shocked at the amount of people I personally knew who were going through this battle. Breast cancer touches everyone, and it was amazing to provide access to them at no cost. In particular, I have to talk about our private group we call Betty's Girls. And this is after you receive one of our care kits in Kentucky. You get sent a link for this group. And the love and the hope and encouragement that I witness every single day is inspiring. This is women from all stages in their journey who just want to support and answer questions and be there for each other. And I mean, we have something as simple as somebody asking about their fingernails and how after chemo they were really brittle. And then there's 100 comments saying, oh, I use this. And they can talk about the different types of treatment that they're on. And it's just an amazing place for support and encouragement. And it's just a positive place because I think that there can be a lot of other groups out there that are scary.
Right.
But we do our best to keep it pretty positive. Our first care kit delivery was a woman named Michelle Jones, and she has been one of the best people I've met. She is constantly commenting on every single post and encouraging women and spreading the word, and she actually just did an article for us in Tops magazine, so she's been amazing, and she was our first one, so she's pretty special to us.
I love when people go through hell and back and they end up making it their mission to love on others and support others who end up facing the same battle. It's just the coolest way that God uses those moments in life. I want to pause here and look at the bigger picture because the statistics show why organizations like yours are essential. In the U.S., about 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer during her lifetime. In 2025, an estimated 316,950 women will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, with another 59,080 diagnosed with non-invasive forms. Sadly, around 42,170 women are expected to die from breast cancer this year in the U.S. Breast cancer is the second most common cancer among women and the second leading cause of cancer death. Today, there are over 4 million women living in the U.S. with a history of breast cancer, many still in treatment, many survivors. So when you hear these numbers, what comes to mind for you, and how do they shape the way that Betty's Hearts approaches its mission?
Well, I think that it's more than 1 in 8. We have women from 20 years old coming to us and asking for mastectomy boxes, which is insane.
Right.
It's just kind of scary. And I've only, been working here for about 2 years, and it's just insane to see the amount of people come in and reach out to us and ask for a care kit. It's scary and it's sad.
What challenges does the foundation face, whether that's funding, awareness, or reaching certain groups of women?
I would say that our number one need is funding. We're completely run off of donations. We have events and fundraisers all the time. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts, and you'll see how hard we work for these women. Every dollar raised goes to care kits and what's inside them. October is obviously our biggest month in our fundraising because people do want to help. And we accept donations on our website at bettyshearts.org and all of our social media pages. We're also having our second annual All for Betty charity ride on October 11th at Manowar Harley. And this will be a ride from 11:30 to 2. And then after that, we're having a survivor stop. And we invite anybody who's a survivor to come out and join us. And there will be food trucks, silent auction, live band, and pop-ups. And they're all businesses looking to give back.
How awesome is that? And so from an awareness standpoint of women who need the kits or want to find, maybe they don't even need a kit, but maybe they're just further along in the journey and they're looking for a support group, where do you see that most of the women who reach out to you all, how are they finding out about you?
I think we do a really good job trying to spread awareness about ourselves and share what we're doing. We have been on the news a lot recently, and we've just been flooded with requests for care kits, which is amazing. We want to help everybody. I think Hearsay and also the Facebook groups, I mean, we just do our best to post and try to spread the word and let people know that we're here to help. We are a small group, but we have a really big heart for it.
Are there communities or populations that you feel are underserved?
When we first started, we were driving all over Kentucky, delivering these care kits from across the state and back. And a lot of them don't have the financial needs to purchase what's inside the care kits. If you were to go out and purchase, it would be close to $500.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when you're having to take off work or travel all the way to Lexington for treatments, that can be a lot of money. So we just want to be able to help them not feel this burden. I mean, there's so many things that you're having to worry about at the time when you get your diagnosis. And a lot of women don't even know that they need these items.
Right. So do you always hand deliver the kits?
We started to in the beginning before it got crazy, and now we ship them, and we still do in-person deliveries. It's usually at the hospitals now, the morning after their treatments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes it more convenient and then appropriately timed, I guess, too. Do you know of any organizations in other states that do the same thing? Like, because we have listeners that are outside of Kentucky as well.
Yeah. We have seen that there are other foundations that do care kits. I will say I have never seen anybody do with the items that we do. A lot of it's like bath bombs and candles and
just general
little gifts. And that's amazing. But our items, we like to say, are tools that you need to heal. And if somebody is outside of Kentucky that needs a care kit, we have on our website, you can click donate a care kit, and you pay the $250, and then we will ship it to somebody outside of the state. You just put their name in, and there's a list of directions, and then you have them fill out the form.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. So that's good to remember if you're listening to this from outside of Kentucky. And also, I think it's just a great idea for, if you are elsewhere in the U.S. and this really just pulls on your heartstrings and the need for such an organization elsewhere, and that's something that you would want to reach out to Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts about, collaborating or, starting your own version in another state, that would be, I'm sure,
absolutely
well received. So what moments keep you going when the work gets tough? Because I imagine this is dealing with this same, you're in these moments with people and they're the hardest moments. And that's got to be trying over and over again. So what keeps you going?
Just knowing how much these care kits have affected these women. I'm there in the deliveries with Rebecca, and sometimes we go to the hospitals in the morning after surgery, like I said, to deliver the care kit and go through the items with them. And it's incredible to see their faces light up when we come in with a pretty pink box. And this is an incredibly vulnerable time for them. They've just had a part of their body amputated. So to have somebody come in who's been through it, seen it, and can provide answers to their questions, it completely changed everything for me. And then all my problems become really small. But it is, it's definitely pulls on your heartstrings when you're in there, and I'm usually just watching and being there as a support person for them. But it's really sad, but it's also amazing that we get to do something like this.
Right. Yeah. To be such an important part of somebody's recovery and moment. Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's look to the future. So what are the goals for the organization for the next few years? And then what dreams do you have for the foundation?
So our goal will always be to keep Betty's name alive. Although I never had the honor of meeting her, I have met hundreds of people that did, and she was quite the woman. And I know that she is so proud of Rebecca and what she's created. Our next goal is to reach every woman in Kentucky who needs us. And I would say our last goal is that we have the funding to do so. We never want to be in a place where we don't have the funds to give somebody these items, and we'll continue to fundraise and spread the word as best we can to hopefully work our way into the hospitals as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then how can listeners support Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts right now?
So you can go to our website at www.bettyshearts.org to learn more, donate, receive a care kit, or gift a care kit to someone you know. We just had a packing event for these pretty pink boxes, and we packed 100 post-mastectomy care kits in September. And some of Betty's girls actually got to come and put their hands on the boxes that are being gifted to other women, and it's a morning filled with hope and love. So spread the word. Anyone you know going through chemotherapy for breast cancer or post-mastectomy surgery, send them our way, and we will take care of them.
And you all are a 501c3, so any donations are tax write-offs.
Yes.
And in terms of volunteering, how much opportunity is there for that? I know you mentioned the packing event, so it would be that. Are there other ways?
We have events all the time, and we're always looking for help. So reach out to us, because like for the October Breast Cancer Awareness Month event that we're doing at Harley-Davidson, like that is something that you can get your hands on and help us with t-shirts and silent auction items. We're always looking for volunteers, but I'd say that the packing event is definitely the way to
How often do you all do those?
We probably do like 3 a year. We'll be packing chemotherapy next time, I believe. So,
Okay. And then in terms of spreading the word, which I imagine that is helpful, and especially now that we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as you're listening to this, I would think it may be like sharing a post from Instagram or from Facebook, or sharing, even this podcast episode with anyone who you think might be a great fit for this. Maybe they're battling it, or they are the type of person that's looking to volunteer with organizations or have the funds to donate even. So getting the word out there about the organization itself, and the appropriate people who need it do hear about it, but also so that all of those who can participate otherwise know about its existence as well. So if someone listening knows a woman battling breast cancer, how should they connect with your foundation?
Yeah, so we like to say that the woman going through it should request the care kit. It's all of their personal information. It takes like 2 minutes to fill out the form. I get the form, and then we reach out within a few days, and we'll get you that care kit. And then anybody that's wanting to help, there is no amount too small. Anything helps, and all funds that are raised go to these care kits.
Okay, and that's good to know. So before we wrap up, I would love to do a quick lightning round to let listeners get to know you a little more.
Okay.
So what is one mantra or quote that you live by, Madalyne?
I have always lived by, God does not give you anything that you can't handle. And I remember hearing this in middle school, and I've kept it with me the whole time. I remember telling myself this and holding on to it, but there are so many times when I felt alone growing up, or that I would never see a happy day, and that could be further from the truth. So I think that God always had this plan for me, and we've just got to trust in him.
Yes, that's a good one. What about the most rewarding moment that you've had since starting this work?
I'd say any event that we get to see Betty's girls, because it's usually after surgery or treatment that they feel good enough to come out to our events. And how special is it that I get to know these incredible women and have been by them on their journey, and now I get to see them healed and happy and wanting to help others, and it just fills my heart because I know that we've made a difference.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're not working with the foundation, how do you unwind?
Unwinding is not something I usually do. I've always been one to keep myself busy, but I just started my professional makeup artistry business for brides, pageants, events, and more. I love reading and watching the same TV shows over and over and over again. And I have the best friends in the world that I love to be with and who I've grown up with here in Lexington.
Yeah. And I can attest to your makeup skills as I have used Madalyne for some professional makeup for shoots.
Thank you.
So Madalyne, thank you so much for sharing your story and the mission of Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts. The work you're doing is just truly life-changing. And I just want to say, for anybody that might be listening to this, that maybe this episode has been shared with you, or you're the one that is facing breast cancer, I think it's just important for you to know that you're not alone in going through this, and that there are so many women that are just waiting to surround you and support you through this chapter of life. And your first step is just submitting that request on Betty's Brave and Beautiful Hearts website so that you ensure that you're connected to them. And if you would like to support the foundation or learn more, visit bettyshearts.com. So that's BETTYS hearts.org, and it will be listed in the show notes. You can donate, volunteer, or simply share their mission to spread awareness. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Charm and Circumstance. Obviously, a really, really important one, maybe a little bit more somber, but also uplifting in the fact that we don't want anyone to ever feel alone in going through breast cancer. If you found value in today's conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and definitely share this one with a friend. Until next time, I'm Ashley, and I want to remind you that every brave and beautiful heart deserves support and love. I will see you in the next episode, friends. Thanks for joining me on Charm and Circumstance. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow along on Instagram, because charm is personal and circumstance is what you make of it.